Hello there everybody, Germ here. Just wanted to let you all know, if you want to support the show, if you want to make sure you stay in tune with all the new updates that we got going on, make sure you go and check out my website, kineticaesthetic.net. On that site you can find a whole bunch of stuff related to the show. You can find a whole bunch of just little blog posts on all my episodes when they drop. You can use that to stay in tune, so make sure you never miss anything that I release. You can also find some merch that I got going on. Right now I just got some necklaces going on. There's some hot shit. You should go check it out. But if you want to stay in tune, like I said, just make sure you go and check out kineticaesthetic.net. Once again, that is kineticaesthetic.net. This is your boy Germ saying, I appreciate you for doing it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, all that other stuff and shit. I ain't even gonna do the intro today. This is Kinetic Aesthetic and it's your boy Germ, and I have a very special episode today. I wanted to do a little episode on karma. What it means, how it can affect you, and how you can usually never see it coming, but if you pay attention, you'll probably see the signs. Today I'm going to tell you the story of someone that I know who went through some stuff while he was going through life a couple years ago, and it feels like he's just now realizing that karma is biting him in the ass. So I'm going to tell you this story. I'm going to spare no detail, and I'm going to go into it all, and I'm going to just explain to you how karma can come back and bite you in the ass when you least expect it. And sometimes you have no one but to blame but yourself for the shit that happens. So once again, this episode is all about karma. So if you ever feel like you have karma sneaking up on you, or you got bad karma, I'm advising you right now, go do something about that shit. Go do some good stuff to overweigh it, because karma will come and it will get you, and it will spare no resource, no expense, and it really will show you no mercy. So let's get into this story. Yo, Germ here. Just want to tell y'all that if you are looking for some new clothing, looking for some new fresh urban wear, you should go and check out my homeboy's creation, his new brand, Stonerville. It's the hottest urban and weed related clothing that you're going to find. He's got a whole bunch of fresh hoodies outside right now. He's got a whole bunch of fresh shirts in the works. It's just one of the hottest new companies that I've seen this year, and it's only going up from here. So if you have any type of interest in getting some new fresh urban wear, and you want something that's fresh, affordable, and just cool to look at, go check out Stonerville brand. You can go check it out online over at stonervillebrand.com. It's created by my friend Juice God. It is the hottest clothes you can find out on the market right now, the hottest new fresh black-owned business you can find on the market right now. So go check it out.
Bad karma.
Okay, so for the sake of this story, we're going to refer to my friend as Paul. Alright? Now, Paul, he's very similar to me in a lot of ways. I wouldn't call him an outgoing person, but he can be talkative if you get to know him. And you know what? He was in a new place. This was when he had just moved to Texas. So he was just trying to, be quiet, keep his head down, not get into too much shit. And he's an introvert for the most part, so he doesn't really be, trying to be out there and on the scene and shit. He tries to just be chill and cool. Now, Paul, he had moved to Texas after he had just got done dealing with some real heavy life shit. This was back in 2017 and everything. So yeah, he had all this shit going on. He moves out to Texas. He gets this new job at a grocery store. Now y'all already know how I feel about grocery stores. Grocery stores are messed up places. But, it can be if you're dealing with a whole bunch of old people at a grocery store. So Paul is out there at this grocery store and everything. He's chilling. He's keeping his head down. He's cool. He ain't bothering nobody. But Paul decided to screw up. Now, Paul, he was a young dude. He was young. He just was trying to, have some fun. Now, and this is where the story gets messed up, because he just met this woman up at the store. Cool woman, attractive. He didn't go out of his way to talk to her, but she would talk to him, and they were cool and everything. And eventually, I guess he just started to realize, the woman was flirting with him. Now that's no big deal. She's a bit of an older woman, not really too much older, like maybe 7, 8 years. And Paul is just a dude, like early 20s and everything, still young enough to where it'll be like, okay, that's a cougar trying to get at you and everything. But there's no real issue except for the fact that she's married. So here we find Paul in the situation with a married woman. It started out just sort of innocent, working together. They would be talking and everything, just sort of shooting the shit. And then all of a sudden, one day, I guess she came on to Paul and was just like, and I apologize if I got any young viewers. She pretty much tells the dude, my pussy is wet. And Paul is taken aback. Like, he's like, what? He doesn't know why this is even being said to him. He doesn't understand the whole context of the situation. And he probably should have shut the shit down right there and said, you know what, you're married. I ain't trying to get myself caught up in all that. But Paul is young, dumb, and for some strange reason, probably because he listens to too much Future when he was younger, too much just, all that hardcore rap shit, he thinks to himself, wouldn't it be cool to fuck a married woman? So Paul decides to stick his toes in the water, just see how that can go, just see how it's going to feel. And he starts to entertain the idea. It starts off with just, casual flirting like that. Well, that's not even casual. That's sort of just like, damn, why'd you say that to me? And then all of a sudden you understand what's going on. It starts with casual flirting at the job. All of a sudden social medias are exchanged and you're having late night conversations with people that you shouldn't be having, talking about stuff that you shouldn't be talking about. You got people trying to tell you, yo, we should get a hotel room, we should do this, we should do that, trying to explain to him why, okay, I got all this craziness going on in my marriage that's giving me a reason why I shouldn't be with this person. You got somebody that's telling you, and this is what he told me, I couldn't believe it that this was the type of crap that was going on. He was telling me about how she would be like, yeah, my marriage is just sort of terrible right now. He's cheating. He's a habitual cheater. He's not doing me right. I was pregnant and he was leaving me in a car overnight, just kicking me out of the house. Just shit that'll have you like, yo, why is this dude such a scumbag? And so, again, you probably should realize that's a red flag and that you shouldn't be getting yourself too involved in that, Paulie. But Paul's just like, you know what? This chance will probably never come again. Let's do it. Let's not even stick my toes in. Let's stick my whole foot in there. So next thing you know, things are getting hot and heavy. You're flirting. You're doing a whole bunch of stuff at work that you probably shouldn't be doing. You're just talking to somebody, again, you shouldn't be talking to. You're not even really focusing on the work. You two are sneaking away when you should be working to just go sit there and just flirt and cake it up and everything. And this man, Paul, he thinks he's doing it. He thinks everything is going his way. But anybody that's been a part of a scandalous story like this knows it never can go so simply. So things really start to hit the fan. Paul eventually, it's to the point where nudes are being exchanged, where she's sending this man nudes without even him asking for them. And I'm going to tell y'all right now, Paul's a piece of shit. Paul definitely showed me. I don't know. I think he just wanted me to make sure that he just actually had proof that this was happening and that he wasn't just making it up. But Paul shows the nudes. And now you're really going through some shit. Because now you're just doing a whole bunch of stuff. Now it's just getting to the point of no return. But Paul thinks that it's all good. And this is the part of the story where it gets really, really crazy. Paul tells me that one day while they are at work, he literally jokes to the girl. He asks her, what's that mouth do? Just laugh. Everybody's joking about it. Well, not everybody, you know what I mean. Just him and her. They're joking about it. They're getting a good chuckle out of it. And next thing you know, as he's working later in that day, he's minding his own business. This man is going back to the break room. He gets pulled into the bathroom. And, well, wouldn't you know, she shows him what that mouth does. Now, you have to keep in mind, this man is doing all of this while he's at work. They're not meeting outside of the job. They're doing all of this while they are on the clock, while they are literally, if someone cared enough to look at the cameras and see this, they'd be in some shit. But it's happening. He goes in there. According to him, it didn't even last too long because he was just like, yo, I don't know, this is a little bit too risky for me. But the simple fact of the matter is, he had his wrapper inside her mouth. I'm calling it a wrapper. I don't want to get too explicit on this. I don't feel the need to. But that shit happens. And yeah, you're at that point now. So you've got all this stuff happening. Again, this man cannot believe what is going on in his life right now. He thinks he's doing it right now. He feels like, okay, I can scratch some of this crazy shit off my bucket list. And he does with confidence. Now, again, something else happens. She pulls him into the bathroom again, and this time they're not even just doing that, they're doing everything. So you're in the bathroom. Somebody even walked in for a split second, according to this man. He said that he had his feet up in the air just trying to make sure nobody could notice those fucking some Nikes on the ground when there shouldn't be Nikes on the ground. And you know a men's shoe when you see a men's shoe. So this man is really just living life on the edge, just putting his whole job on the line, just doing a whole bunch of forbidden stuff, knowing that, and according to Paul, this is a woman whose husband knows people up at that job. So it's not like he's just doing this all risk-free. He's on top of the world. He thinks he's doing pretty much everything he wants to. He thinks he's got everything handled in his life. But then one night, Paul is chilling in bed, laying down, thinking he's about to go to sleep. He gets some good sleep. And he gets a random message on his phone. It's a Snapchat message. That's where he's been communicating with this woman for the most part. And it's not just any regular message from her. It's a message asking, what did we do? Now, Paul is not the most... things can go over his head. He's not going to lie about that if you ask him. But Paul immediately understands this is not a regular message. This is not just her trying to just hit him up and just ask about some shit, just trying to, get some clarification. He knows this is probably from her husband. And Paul instinctively just knows to reply, we didn't do shit. Closes his phone, puts that thing down, probably deleted Snapchat that night. That man was freaking out, I remember. And he just goes to bed. He wakes up, he's real freaked out, real just like, damn it, what the hell is going on? So you know what Paul does? He goes up to the job, and thankfully they were both working that day, and he asks her, what the fuck? And guess what happened? I'm going to just give y'all one quick moment to guess what happened. She told her husband. And, of course, this is like, why? Why would you do that? You literally had no reason to. And she says, you know what? I was feeling guilty. And this is when Paul understands why messing with a woman who's married or messing with a woman who's just in that type of emotional state where she's vulnerable to doing this type of shit is not a good idea. Because you know what? He's trying to think to himself, why would you go out of your way to tell someone? Why would you go out of your way and say you're feeling guilty to somebody who has been treating you like shit? And it all sort of just started to just spiral from down that way. Now, Paul, to his credit, he pretty much told her after that, you know what, this is freaked out. I think this is a little bit too much for me. Apparently the woman was starting to think, okay, yo, you know what, I could just make you my boyfriend or something like that. Some real, like, what the fuck type shit. Like, you have a whole husband, you can't have a boyfriend. I don't know how that's gonna work. And it's all just sort of just like, you know what from there. It's real awkward. Things are not going well. It wasn't a good way for it to end. I mean, it wasn't a good way for it to start, but it was definitely not a good way for it to end. Luckily, in Paul's case, the husband never really was able to come up there and figure out who he was. It never really snowballed up to that point, but it was really dangerous for a second, because you know what? This is somebody who worked, who had their aunt working there too. It was just a whole bunch of just different variables at play, and it just got real out of control, you know. But I say this story about Paul because this isn't where the story ends for him. This isn't where this whole saga of things that happened at that job started going for him. This is just the catalyst, the thing that he can look back on and be like, yeah, that was probably where I fucked up. Because right as this is all happening, right as this is all ending, another girl starts there. And we're going to call this girl Susie. Now, Paul and Susie, Paul didn't think he was going to have to, he didn't think much of Susie when he first met her. Similar to me when I had that whole girl I was in my situationship with, but he didn't think much of it. But next thing you know, they talk. They both just sort of vibe, you know? It's just sort of like a natural thing. Like, yo, you're cool. Yeah, you're cool too. Let's be friends. And you know what? Next thing you know, it's even more than that. Now, this girl was in not a situation, she was in a relationship herself. So Paul is just, you know, he's just like, okay, I guess I'm and this is after all this is happening. Like, Paul, the girl had left at this point. She had pretty much, I guess she had gotten tired of the job up there, and after everything that had happened with her and Paul, she was like, I ain't trying to be up here no more. That whole story was just crazy. That whole story was crazy for both of them, I believe, up to this case. And I believe that Paul even told me she got pregnant not too long after that. So hopefully it wasn't his, but it got really a little just like, oh, what the hell? That was just a very, very crazy, dangerous situation. Messing with the girl who's not only really emotional, but really just vulnerable because she's going through some of her relationship issues. She's ovulating. It's probably the most ignorant statement you'll hear me make because I don't really know too much about women's anatomy like that. I don't search that shit up, but that girl was ready for another child. And just one last thing on it, it's really crazy because you think about it now. I remember Paul just coming to me and just thinking like, damn man, I'm a home wrecker. I'm messing up I'm not a happy home, but I'm still just sort of messing with a home. This is a woman who had 5 kids. This is a woman who was cool for the most part. It wasn't like she was just a complete goofy. She was just going through some shit. And once again, like I said, Paul could have got his ass shot. Now, if that man would have just really cared that much, if he would have really been hurt, because she told Paul, yo, he was crying when he sent that message asking what you did. He was crying. Paul could have got himself into some real serious stuff, and it would have been real hard to explain that to his family and everything. Like, yeah, this is what he got killed over. This is what he was getting. This is what he got into a fight or got shot over, or got stabbed. So I just say that to all my men out there: be careful. Be careful. Don't mess with some of these women like that. And if you do fuck around like that, keep your mouth shut, because you never really know who's gonna talk to who about these types of things. But back to this second part of Paul's story, the part where the karma kicks in. Now, like I said, him and Susie meet each other. They're cool and everything. And Paulie is really starting to feel some feelings for this girl. And everything is seemingly going right for the most part. But once again, Susie's still got her own thing going on. Susie is, and even at the point where Susie ends that thing, it's not really a spoken thing. It's not really like it's known. And Paul is just trying to, play it cool, do what he can. But somewhere along the line, Paul doesn't just dip his toes in. He dips his whole lower body in. Shit, he dips himself into that water. This man starts to get submerged. Next thing you know, those feelings are a little bit too strong, and he's just got to tell her. He's just got to do a whole bunch of other shit. And Paul, he's drowning. He's drowning, man. He's trying to get to the surface. He's trying to get to to higher waters and everything, but he can't. And Paul just starts to sort of just lose his wits. He starts to lose his way. He's still working at this same job. He's dealing with this girl, and Paul tells Susie about this story, which he probably shouldn't have. Paul talks a little too fucking much. And Paul just, he likes to be open about these things, especially when it's somebody that he actually fucks with. So he tells him. He tells her. And long story short, Paul finds himself in a situationship similar to the one I had. And really, when I think about Paul's situation, you know what I think, y'all? I think that the biggest mistake that Paul made was that he fucked up his karma. Now, if he would have played it cool, if he would have just ignored that first situation, not done any of that, Paul probably would have had enough good karma in him and just enough goodwill in the universe to not end up the way he ended up. Because I'll tell y'all right now, him and Susie did not work out. That shit ended up going horribly. He ended up just inadvertently throwing all the good shit he had with her away like a dumbass. And now Paul is fucked up. Now Paul is still upset over this situation. It's been fucking 3 or 4 years. And this man is still out here just like, yo, what did I do wrong? What can I do to fix it? Still trying to figure it out. Paul's even started therapy about this shit, yo. Like, it's hard to see your boy messed up like that. But Paul's a piece of work, y'all. Paul is one of those stubborn ass dudes who just he has to learn lessons the hard way. And he did, because, he's out here hurting. He ain't got the girl that he wants. He's got a crazy story to tell about a girl that he didn't want, that he just messed with just for the sake of it. But what did that really get him in the end? And once again, I'm telling y'all this story about Paul because this is what I was talking about when it came to karma. Now, when you think that you're up and you're doing and you can just do anything your own way, and you know that you make mistakes and you know that you make choices that this ain't really righteous, I just want y'all to remember, karma is paying attention. It might not get you back as immediately as it did Paul. It might not put the perfect woman that you want right in front of you at that moment. But karma's going to get you somehow. And karma's going to make sure that situation just fucks itself up. Because see, what happened with Paul is, like I said before, Paul was young. Paul was not at the point that he needed to be able to really handle a girl as perfect as Susie. And I don't say that Susie was perfect. I say that Susie was perfect for him. And so he really screwed himself over, because if he would have been able to just take his time, really just think things through, and I don't know why he decided to just mess with 2 women that he was working with. I don't know why he just was getting all his women from this damn job. That's not smart, Paul. I know you're listening to this. That's not smart, my man. He just wasn't making the wisest choices. And it goes back to what I'm saying right now, y'all. Karma did that. Karma put the girl that he wanted right in front of him. He's got that perfect woman just right in front of him. The one that's going to make him happy, the one that's going to make him whole, and he don't even know what to do with it. It's like you give somebody, you find a dude that says he wants whatever in a woman, you give it to him, he don't know what the fuck to do with it. That's exactly what happened with Paul. And I can't really say that, you know what, it's just coincidence, it's just like that, because it doesn't feel like that, y'all. I look at that story, I still like to have him tell me that story just because it's funny to hear. That is the purest form of karma. You think you can just fuck around, do whatever you want, just do these taboo things, and the next thing you know, the woman that you do want right in front of you, and you just fumble the bag. You don't get the bag and flip it and tumble it like Quavo and the Migos. You fumble it. And Paul had to learn that lesson the hard way, y'all. So, once again, I'm saying this story to just let y'all know, try to make wise and righteous choices. Try to make choices that you're going to be proud of like 10, 15 years from that point. Because you don't want to just look back on something and say, damn, that was just a really dumb decision that I made. And you really don't want to look back on that situation and have to say to yourself, that whole situation, that whole time in my life just gave me such negative karma that it started affecting the rest of it. And that's the story of Paul. of Paulie, y'all. I just wanted to make sure y'all heard that. I just wanted to share that with y'all because Paul's a good guy. He's not bad. He just made some real stupid decisions, and he's paying for them. Now, if you're like me and you have sensitive skin that requires that special bit of care, and you need something that's going to work a little bit better than just regular Vaseline or lotion, what you need to do is stop what you're doing, go to Instagram right now, and search up Body Butter. That's BODYBUTTAA. It's made by my homegirl Ashley. It's made using nothing but natural ingredients, and I'm going to tell y'all right now, the shit works like magic. It comes in men's scents and women's scents. She's got Summer Seduction, Vanilla Cocoa, and Baby Powder, and Gentleman Scents. She's got a whole bunch of summer scents that she's working on right now that are going to be coming out. It's just everything that you can look for in a good alternative to lotion or Vaseline, and it works like a charm. It makes your skin glow, it makes your skin glisten, and it'll last you for a long time. So if you're looking for something that's going to work a little bit better, that's going to make you feel even better, then you need to go and search up Body Butter. Once again, that's BODYBUTTAA. Works like a charm, and honestly, it makes me feel that much better. Everybody, that is the story of Paulie. I hope you've all learned from this story. I hope that all my gentlemen out there that are listening to this can understand and just take away from the story what you need to take away. Just like I said before, y'all, be smart with your choices. Don't do shit that you're going to just look back on and regret in 10 to 15 years. You might think that you want to just do something wild and get it off your bucket list to just say that you've done it, but sometimes it's not always worth it. Paulie has been sort of just in a real... He hasn't been right. He's been stuck ever since because, you know... It's like you said, you can really just... The universe will do you like that. It'll give you a judgment test. It'll see if you can make the right choices or not. And if you make the right choices, sometimes it'll give you some leeway. It'll avoid putting you in that type of situation that he ended up in with Susie. But when you fail it, that's when it'll just throw it at you. That's when it'll be like, okay, you think you're such hot shit, you think you're ready for all this, and then it'll lob it to you. Just lob you something that you want, that you need. And the next thing you know, you won't be able to actually handle it. So I say that to once again say, make the wise choices. That's probably the 4th or 5th time I've said this so far. And don't end up like Paulie, y'all, because Paulie's hurting. Paulie's emotionally stuck, and he's been emotionally stuck for a good minute now, and I don't know when Paulie's going to get his shit together. But he's working on himself. And we don't have to be Paulie. We can be better than Paulie. That's what I've been trying to do. That's what I think Paulie's been trying to do. Paulie's not trying to be Paulie anymore. He's trying to be just something different, y'all. But once again, this has been Kinetic Aesthetic. It's your boy Germ. I want to thank you all for listening. I want to thank you all for listening to the story of Paulie, and I want you all to just have a good one. And remember, sometimes all the shit that seems fun and taboo and dangerous just is not worth it.